We have now two Navy SEAL fathers who have come out and are demanding answers from the White House on what happened in Benghazi. Here's the latest.
My son and them, they dialed 911 for help, and they wouldn't help him. I want whoever did this that didn't answer the phone, I want them brought to justice, too.
So that's another Navy SEAL father, one of the four who was killed. That's two out of the four who is really angry right now.
Wouldn't you be?
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think these guys are handling this much.
Way better than I would.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. If somebody killed my son, Rafe, and he was in war, and all he was asking was, I have them. I have them locked in. I have them painted. All I need is an armed drone. Send an armed drone. And he was refused. I honestly think I might move to Canada. That would be, everybody threatens that, but I don't think I could live in my country if that's the choice the country has decided to take. Mm-hmm. I would first say, hey, I want this brought to justice. But if nobody was up in arms and nothing happened, I would be like, I don't want to be a part of these guys because we don't leave people behind. What is that? We've never been that way, ever. We've never been that way.
And, of course, the White House denies that they told the military to stand down.
This is really important. They deny now that they said to anybody, stand down. That means that what they're saying to you is Delta Force wasn't ready. Delta Force didn't have anything. What they're saying is, in Stuttgart and in Italy and in Spain, the teams that we have trained to go in on hostage rescues, to go in case there's a problem. This is what they're trained to do. In case there's another hostage situation or a problem at an embassy, these teams are trained to go in with almost no information and rescue the Americans. And if the White House is saying now, and this guy knows, because he's been right along with all of the big missions. And that's going to be published if it's not already up on the Blaze. Can you check with that, Jeffy? Did you hear about that in the meeting today? You check with Tiffany and see when that's coming out? We have some interesting perspective breaking on that. The White House denies now. They said, no, stand down. I will tell you this, that yesterday afternoon before I went on the TV show, I was given information from New York, our news department in New York. And they said, Glenn, we have evidence that one network and one other major media organization one of them has a memo, a stand-down memo. And they are choosing not to release it. And they're deciding whether to release it after the election.
And they're saying that memo came from the White House?
It's my understanding that it came from either the White House or the Secretary of Defense, and the only one, the Secretary of Defense, I mean, if it came from the Secretary of Defense, which is the only other person, it has to be proved by the White House. There's protocol. There's clear protocol. The Secretary of Defense cannot make this decision based on a ambassador. He can't. And this one news organization is now holding it until after the election and deciding whether they're going to release it at all. And we have very well-placed sources that have verified that it exists, and this network has it. We also have very well-placed sources on another story on another major news outlet. And I'm being cryptic here because, quite honestly, Stu and I were just talking about this. Because we're protecting our sources, because we want additional information, and they have asked us not to say anything. But I will tell you that I was in this meeting last night. You weren't in that meeting before the TV show, were you? No. And my first question to my executive team was, why again am I not just exposing who they are and what they have? And it was because you will burn all of your sources, and these sources currently trust you, and they don't want to be burned. And I will tell you that that has worked for me in the last 24 hours, but I believe these networks, this particular network and this other organization are acting criminally. If they have this memo, if they have this information, this is important for the election, and they know it. And they know it. And I don't know where I'm going to stand on this Monday or even tomorrow or even this afternoon. But I will tell you right now where I stand on this is if they don't release it before the election, when they do release it, I will rat them out. I will tell you that's the information. That's what they had. Now, I know this is this is something that I have to pray some more on because there has to be truth tellers. And if we don't have people who trust us, we've gotten so much information in the last year when people realized, A, we'll say it, B, we're not going anywhere. We are a developing cable news network, and we're not going anywhere. Current is selling for, I don't know, could we buy it for $1.98? We don't owe anybody any money. I'm wholly owned by me. I only answer to God and you. I don't worry about the clients. I don't worry about the sponsors or anything else. I'm not being extorted ever again because of you, because you are subscribing to The Blaze at theblaze.com/TV. And it is not a subtle plug. And we're growing. And the things that we have coming and the people that are now starting to come to us because they see that we operate differently will boggle your mind. In a year from now, you will see the people that we have associated ourselves with and the people that are coming over to us. Probably a year from now, 18 months from now, you will say, holy cow, people are reaching out to us because they're tired of it and they know. And I have to make sure we're standing in 4 years from now, not just for this election. But I want to send the strongest message I can. I'm not going to destroy the networks. I'm not going to destroy the newspapers or the magazines or other websites. That's not my goal. They will destroy themselves. Because unless you're standing in the blaze of truth, unless you're standing in the fire of truth, unless you're doing the right thing, it is all going to come out. The era of secrets is over. And it will all come out. And when it does, you will have destroyed yourself. I beg you, because America needs people to believe in. I beg you, change your ways. Release the information that you have and do it in a timely way. It is critical information to the survival of America. There's about 500 people in the world that know this secret. 500 that were getting emails and cables. There's probably, out of that 500, 100 that really could have access to information, and there's about 20 of them that do have access to information. Those people are not sleeping well right now. And if you've ever seen a mob movie or a war movie or a government movie or any movie where there's corruption going on, once you get people to do one thing wrong and they can't sleep at night, you got them. This isn't about the president. The president, if the president loses on Wednesday, this has to be pursued, because who are those 20 people or those 500 people that were in on this, that knew and made the decision to leave men behind? If we start to have those kinds of people making decisions that can't sleep at night, we're compromised, gang, and we will become a very dark nation. We will become a nation of really dark forces. It has to stop now.